What up, friends? Welcome back. It's been a long time, but I'm glad to be here and I'm glad that you're there. This is still the place where we apply logic and conviction to politics, faith, current events, culture, whatever else comes to mind. Right now I'm doing a cycling stint to help raise money for the MS Society. So we're doing a 2-day 150-mile bike ride, which I want to tell you a little bit more about that. Also recap my last ride, the training that I've been doing, and I got a couple GoPro tips that might help you. I know they're helping me. So let's get into that. Just want to give you a quick rundown as I get ready to do this long MS150 bike ride for charities. We're trying to raise money for the Multiple Sclerosis Society to help with awareness as well as treatments and stuff like that. So want to get started, tell you about my last ride, tell you about the training that I've been trying to do for the last few months, and I even got a couple GoPro tips, but we'll see if they're any good or if they're just tips for me. First, let's look at the ride. So I'm not a professional cyclist, of course, but I have been doing some cycling because I'm a part of a 2-day ride. So for today's ride, it was one of the optional rides where I did 3-minute intervals, and you do 3 minutes on where you're going pretty hard, high level, high BPM, and then you go easy, barely doing anything, just moving forward for the other 3 minutes. You do that off and on. Typically for 10 sets. Today, since it was the last one and I feel a little behind, I did like 16 or 17. It was just under 2 hours, was able to go 24 miles, just under 24 miles. Average speed is 12.7, but I stopped a couple times. It didn't stop on my watch and stuff like that, and I burned 1,400 calories. So the big deal about that is just being able to do the 3-minute intervals. They were tough, but I felt like I got through them, so I know I'm definitely progressed from where I was, but definitely have further to go. The weather was nice, enjoyed the day. Just in that position where now, you kind of fret, did you do enough training? Are you going to be able to make it? What's it going to feel like? All that kind of stuff, but all you can do is what you can do. So now all I'm going to do is rest up, get some stretching in, stuff like that, get mentally prepared for the ride coming up this weekend. So first off, what is MS150? It's actually a national organization, and they do these long 2-day bike rides kind of all over the country. I'm sure you can find one near you. If you just Google MS150 bike ride or something like that, you'll probably come up with some things for your area. But in my area, we go from, it's just a 2-day bike ride, bike about 150 miles, sometimes a little under, sometimes it's a little bit over. And the goal is just to raise money and awareness and stuff for those that are dealing with multiple sclerosis. So it's a challenge that I want to do for me, just to be able to, do it. And then it's also benefiting charity and some things that some other people are dealing with. And so I've been doing it for this is technically like my 6th year, but 2 years we didn't do it. We didn't do it in 2020 because the world came to a standstill. And then last year it got canceled at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because of some weather that was rolling in. So that was kind of a bummer, but I've done it 3 other times successfully, and I was hoping that this year was going to be the year where I did my training right, felt good, and kind of did a little bit better in the bike ride. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So when you go to the website, they have there's an old thing that they used to put up, an old calendar that they used to recommend for your training, and now they have something else where it's not a calendar, it's just several paragraphs where they say they give you big broad ranges and say you can do about this much and then maybe move it up that much, and it's just too subjective for me. So I just stick with the old calendar, and basically starts you out at 20 miles. You increase 5 miles in your long ride each and every week. From like 20 to 60, and then you go back down to about 45, and you start adding hills. And then twice a week, in addition to your long ride, they put an optional ride on there, which is either like an easy 30-minute ride. Sometimes they start with the intervals, doing 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. Then you get up to 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off. They have just some other suggestions in there, and so that's what I was trying to do. So I actually started preparing for it. It's a 16-week preparation. So I actually started preparing for it in January with a 20-mile bike ride, and actually was a little off 20 because I just trained for the half marathon before that, so I really wasn't doing much if any riding at all. So I kind of worked my way up to 20 miles and got it going. I was looking to stay on track, and then there was a men's league, so I started playing basketball. And one night, you know, 2 games before the end of the season, this guy ran into me, I ran into him, and our knees collided and really messed up my knee, hurt my meniscus and stuff, and that just really killed all my momentum. So I had a few weeks straight that I was going, I was doing good, I was hitting my increases and stuff like that. And then when my knee got messed up, that just really derailed me because I couldn't do anything. So after a couple days after that happened, I got on the bike and, you know, I took like 4 pedals and turned around because it hurt too bad. Ended up having to take like 2 or 3 weeks off solid. Then it just took a long time to get back up. So I did not prepare anywhere near what I wanted to. And it almost feels like this might be the least prepared I've ever been going into it as far as mileage and stuff like that. So that's a big concern. Not happy with that, but you know, what can I do about it now? So I'm way behind. Consider myself undertrained, but as they say over and over in the MS150, it's a ride, it's not a race, so there's not really any pressure to perform. But if I didn't have any personal pressure to perform, I wouldn't really want to do the ride. So that's just me. So at this point, with the amount of training that I have, I really just want to get through the race without my legs falling off. They have sag wagons. They have stations that are set up every 10 to 15 miles. And technically at any time, if you feel like you can't go on, you can just stop and put your helmet over your head and they'll pick you up in a van and take you from where you are to the next rest station. And you can do that as many times as you want. So my goal is just to get through without having to do that. I'm gonna pedal every mile, but you know, I'm just wondering how long it's gonna take me to recover. So that doesn't feel good. I was hoping to actually push forward and have some achievements, and now I'm just at the point where I just want to get through it and get it done and achieve it. Which is interesting because they also have this patch that you can get if you do 100 miles on the first day. You can get a century mile patch, and it's just a patch, but I really want it. So I'm kind of in the back of my mind considering getting the patch and doing the 100 miles, but you know, I don't know what it's going to cost me. So I'll let you know how that goes. Basically at this point, the bike ride starts early on a Saturday morning. You ride most of it on Saturday, and then you finish up on Sunday. The day in between, we kind of go to a big campground, and most people camp out. You can get a team tent. I'm riding with Team Texas Children's. Again, this year will be my 2nd year with them, and so you can get like big old tents where you have a large group kind of camp in there. You can set up your own tent, your personal tent. You can camp, you can get a hotel down the street, you can drive all the way home and back if you want to. It's really up to you, but I'm going the team route because that's the easiest thing for me. There's a whole lot of details and stuff that you can get if you want over at the website. I'll try and link that in the description. It's a good time, it's a fun thing to do. It is a big challenge, and there's lots of people that normally come out to do it. This year will be interesting with all the COVID stuff that's happened, and then with the race being canceled last year. So we'll just kind of see how many people are there. I'll have my camera, try and make another video and just kind of show you what it's like on the ride, just so you can see that. And also just a little documentation for myself, because I want to be able to see it. So I had a couple GoPro tips. Maybe you already know this stuff. I haven't used my GoPro a ton, but these are kind of some tips for me that are applied to the cycling. So it's just a few things. One is that you can buy longer thumb screws. So these are the thumb screws, you know, you put in your whatever is going to hold your camera, and you screw that in. And I've been having the hardest time because I have a few of these that I got from a cheaper section, and they're short, and the thumb screw kind of gets up under where the camera sits, and you have to do this little teeny tiny finger action to try and get that on there. And hey, you can just get some longer screws. They have a longer shaft, and they'll help you make that a whole lot easier. So the other thing I was going to show you for me is I have one camera that's set up on the back of the bike so you can see the passing shots or whatever. And on that one, for me, the thumb screw comes out in the front part, and it has to go up a little bit higher on the bar so the camera can have angle and adjustment to be able to move. And well, this part sticks out a little bit, and so my leg can actually rub against it. So I'm actually going to get a short screw. And one of the other things that you can do is get a shorter screw that doesn't have this part on it, And you can really make it easier if you get a different head screw. If you get one that just has a hex head in it and you don't need these screws here, and you put a lock nut in there, and then you can just adjust it this way. So you lose the ability to make adjustments anywhere with the ease of the thumb screw. But if you just carry one of these little things in one of your bike patches, then you have that availability to be able to make those adjustments. So I'm going to switch this thing around. I'm going to put the lock nuts in there so they don't slip, and then I'm going to put a hex head bolt in this way, and then I can screw that in and make my adjustments, and you might be able to find that somewhere to help you with your GoPro stuff. Last but not least, I found this out today while I was riding. I was trying to put my camera in kind of on the go, and I was screwing it in, and this nut that catches the screw coming in from the other side popped out. So I'm like spinning and spinning and spinning, riding around. I'm like, why is this thing not catching? I look and the bolt fell out. So then I had to turn around and spend a couple minutes trying to find it. And so another thing that you can do to help out your setup, which I'm going to do, is glue all these little nuts in there. Just put some glue right around them, smash them in there, and that's something that'll help hold them so that when you push your screw in, they don't just so easily pop out. You can also do that for your screws. This one is reversed. Oh, well, this isn't one. So you can also do that with your thumb screws that you have. Again, this is from a cheaper set, and like this is one of the shorter ones. I need a longer one for one part and shorter ones for some other parts. But another issue you might run into is that sometimes these screws can pop out if you're trying to push it in there. But you can also throw some glue in there, pull it all the way through. Normally they're just friction fit, and then when you screw in, obviously it pushes that out and pushes the bolt that way. But you can glue it so that when you're pushing it in there, you don't have to worry about the screw coming out and having to fiddle with it, because when you're on a bike ride, that gets really, really irritating, especially the longer you're on the bike ride, and then you say, forget it, and then you don't get any footage, and then you don't remember and have the memories and stuff like that. So just a couple tips that you can add to your cycling setup if you want to have some recording and stuff like that. Probably nothing great, but it's helping me out a whole lot. So last but not least in this video, now what do? It's again Wednesday evening, so I have Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday we get it going. So I'm in my last minute preparation. So now I have to pack clothes and stuff for the overnight stay from Saturday to Sunday. I have to pack charging cords and shower stuff and sleeping stuff and all that kind of stuff. So packing and getting that ready. We also have packet pickup where we have to go down to the place and pick up all your numbers and swag and all that kind of stuff that you get. Also have to go through with our team meeting. We have a little team meeting get together where you can go meet some other people. Also, it's where you drop off your luggage and stuff. So actually after this, like, I have to start packing because that's the first thing that has to go. Stuff that I'm going to use on Saturday night, I have to pack that up and get that out for our meeting on Thursday evening. And of course, I got to clean my bike, wash that off, get it nice and shiny, looking good, wash my shoes, get my clothes picked out and stuff like that. Not really picked out, I only have a few different things to wear, but I'll get them pulled out so everything's done and ready. And my goal is to have everything done, set, ready to go by Friday, like lunchtime at the latest, so that I can kick back and just focus on riding and not have any last minute preparations, because those never go fun. Then I gotta adjust the bike rack because I'm gonna put that on the back of the car. My wife is gonna be driving to come and pick me up, and then just like some other little small things to finish my GoPro setup and stuff like that. So that's about it. Hopefully I'll have another video with my last minute preparations in the race and show you just some views from the, well, it's not a race, from the ride, show you some views from there, some of the stops and stuff like that. And then that'll be it. Maybe we'll have a post-ride video and just kind of talk about how it actually went, how I feel, how many days it takes me to recover, stuff like that. We will see, but I'm definitely praying for grace and favor and supernatural help with my body. I want to thank all of our donors. I really, 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 really appreciate the people that stepped up and donated this year. My brothers, Myron, Carlin, their families, they put in. Also, Kelly put in. Stuart put in. My dad, my mom, my parents, they put in. And I also want to thank Faith Family Church for putting in too. Couldn't do it without you, and I'm sure the people that we're helping with the MS Society also appreciate it. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching this video. Keep your eyes open for the next one, hopefully sometime early next week. While I'm sitting there recovering, I can do some video editing and we'll get that out if you want to see it. If you have any questions or any other GoPro tips, anything you think I need to know, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. I'm not a pro cyclist. I'm just me, and that is how I see it.